Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today is Friday, November 8th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap Thursday night football, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football, look ahead to all those slates, picks for college football and the NFL, and my best bet of the day. Okay, we're going to start with Thursday night football where the Raiders came out on top 26-24 over the Chargers in a big division game. Raiders are 5-4. The Chargers dropped to 4-6. Derek Carr, 21 of 31, 218 yards and a touchdown pass. Phillip Rivers, 17 of 31, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Next up for the Raiders is home against the Bengals. And next up for the Chargers is against the Chiefs in New Mexico City, where that game will be on Monday Night Football. So that should be an entertaining game down in Mexico City between those two offenses within that division. All right, now we're going to talk NBA. There was only 4 games on the slate last night. Just going to go through the slate and look ahead to tonight and the weekend slate. The Celtics defeat the Hornets in Kemba Walker's return to Charlotte 108-87. This was one of the locks of the NBA season in terms of a ATS. I thought the best lock of the year was Detroit giving 4 against the Knicks on Wednesday night. I was right about that, and I was right about this one too. Boston 6-1, Charlotte's 4-4. Jason Tatum 23 points. Miles Bridges had 18 to lead Charlotte. Spurs over the Thunder 121-112. Good win for San Antonio. They are 5-3. Oklahoma City's 3-5. LaMarcus Aldridge 39 points. Danilo Gallinari at 27. Heat over the Suns 124-108. Miami 6-2. Phoenix 1-3. Jimmy Butler at 34 had a great game. Aaron Baines 23 to lead Phoenix. Clippers over the Blazers 107-101. Clippers barely got the cover there at the end. They're 6-3. Portland's 3-5. Kawhi Leonard had 27. C.J. McCollum had 22. Tonight's games at 7 o'clock. You have the Grizzlies at the Magic from Orlando. The Cavs at the Wizards, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Pacers host the Pistons. 7:30, the Hawks host the Kings. 8 o'clock. The Warriors are at the Timberwolves. Raptors at the Pelicans. 8:30, Knicks at the Mavericks. 9 o'clock, Bucks at the Jazz. 76ers at the Nuggets. Nets at the Trailblazers. And at 10:30, the Heat at the Lakers. In terms of a best play, and by the way, the Cavs-Wizards game is on ESPN. That's a tough game to gauge because they're 2 bad teams from the Eastern Conference, a combined 4-10. I'm going to say the Wizards take care of business at home. They have the best player on the court in that game, and Bradley Beal, as good as Kevin Love has been this season. All due respect, but Bradley Beal is the best player on the court in that game. In terms of a best play, give me the Pistons getting 7 against the Pacers. I like this Pistons team. They're very good. I just like the way they've started so far. They killed the Knicks. I think they cover against Indiana, and I give them an excellent chance to win the game outright. So my best NBA play for tonight is the Pistons getting 7 against the Indiana Pacers, which should be a close game. I think the Pistons can win, like I said, but Indiana will likely win because they're at home. If Griffin's back, I'm definitely willing to say that the Pistons will definitely win the game outright, but I think that it will be a competitive game, and I think that Indiana's overvalued there at home, and I think Detroit, just like Wednesday night against the Knicks, is undervalued here. And this time, they're a dog. Well, rightful underdog because they're on the road. But I think that line should be more like 5, 4.5, something like that, especially without Oladipo. That's, to me, a very big spread. Pistons are 4-5. Pacers are 4-4. So both these teams to me are pretty even. And then 7's a very big number in a division game between 2 teams, in my opinion, that are even right now, especially with Indiana not having Oladipo. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, Celtics at the Spurs. That's a nice one. 7 o'clock, Pelicans at the Hornets. 8 o'clock, Warriors at the Thunder. The Warriors were just at the Thunder, too, and they got their asses kicked. Rockets at the Bulls and Mavericks at the Grizzlies. And then on Sunday, you have at 3:30, the Nuggets at the Timberwolves. 6 o'clock, the Pacers at the Magic. The Hornets at the 76ers. 7 o'clock, the Bucks at the Thunder. 7:30, Cavs at the Knicks. 8 o'clock, the Nets at the Suns. 9 o'clock, Hawks at the Blazers. 9:30, Raptors at the Lakers. All right, now we're going to switch over to the NHL. Big slate last night. Some interesting results. The Rangers defeated the Hurricanes 4-2. That was a great win for New York. Back-to-back wins. Henrik Lundqvist looking like the Henrik Lundqvist of old. They're back over 500 at 7-6-1. Carolina is 9-6-1. So Carolina and the Rangers are now tied in the loss column. Carolina's just played 2 more games. Number 1 started the game for the second night in a row. 45 saves on 47 shots. Henrik Lundqvist. Number 2 started the game with 2 assists. Pavel Buchnevich. Number 3 started the game with a goal. Sebastian Aho. Maple Leafs over the Golden Knights 2-1 in overtime. Leafs are 9-5-3. Vegas is 9-5-3. So 2 good teams with the same record. Number 1 started the game with 37 saves on 38 shots. Frederik Andersen. Number 2 started the game 35 saves on 37 shots. Malcolm Subban had a great game for him. Good sign for Vegas going forward. Number 3 star of the game with a goal and an assist, John Tavares. Capitals over the Panthers 5-4 in overtime. The Capitals are in first place in the division as they stand at 12-2-3. Florida drops to 7-3-5. So that obviously makes some sense. The number 1 started the game with 2 goals, Tom Wilson. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals and an assist, Alex Ovechkin. Number 3 started the game with a goal and assist, Alexander Barkov. Penguins over the Islanders 4-3 in overtime to end the Islanders' 11-game win streak. It was a 10-game win streak. Now it's an 11-game point streak. Pittsburgh's 9-6-1. Islanders 11-3-1. Number 1 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, James McCann. Number 3 star of the game, a goal and assist of Evgeny Malkin. Number 3 star of the game, a goal and assist, young defenseman for the Islanders, Adam Pelech. And Brian Russ scores the game winner to end the Islanders' streak. Flyers over the Habs 3-2 in overtime. A huge win for Philadelphia, 8-5-2. Montreal's 8-5-3. Number 1 started the game with 40 saves on 43 shots. Carey Price, he kept Montreal in that game. Number 2 started the game with a goal, Sean Couturier. Number 3 started the game with a goal, Philippi Myers. The Sens defeated the Kings 3-2 in overtime, another overtime game. Ottawa 5-9-1, LA 5-10-1. Number 1 started the game with a goal, Juan Gabriel Pageau. Number 2 started the game with a goal, Anthony Duclair. Number 3 started the game, 26 saves on 28 shots, Andres Nelson, who really has been a bright spot for Ottawa this year and has really stolen some games for them. Blackhawks over the Canucks 5-2. A nice win for Chicago 5-7-3. So now they're only 2 under 500. Vancouver's 9-4-3. Number 1 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Patrick Kane. Number 2 started the game with 36 saves on 38 shots, Corey Crawford. So he looked like the Corey Crawford of old. Number 3 started the game with 3 assists, Dylan Strome. Avs over the Predators 9-4. When was the last time a team scored 9 in a game? Wow. 9-5-2 is Colorado. That's what Nashville is right now, is 2. Number 1 started the game with a hat trick, Joonas Tušonki. Number 2 started the game with a goal and 3 assists, Nathan MacKinnon. Number 3 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Ryan Graves. Flames over the Devils 5-2. Calgary 10-7-2. NJ is now 4-6-4. Number 1 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Noah Hannafin. Number 2 started the game with a goal and assist, Mikhail Backlund. Number 3 started the game with a goal and assist, Johnny Gaudreau. Blue Jackets over the Coyotes 3-2. A nice win for them, 6-7-3. Arizona 9-5-2. Number 1 started the game with a goal and assist, Oliver Bjorkstrand. Number 2 started the game with a goal, Jacob Treishin. Number 3 started the game with 30 saves on 32 shots, Joonas Korpisalo. Sharks over the Wild 6-5. A much-needed win for San Jose. They're 6-10-1. Minnesota's 5-10-1. Number 1 started the game with a goal and 3 assists, Logan Couture. Number 2 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Thomas Hertl. Number 3 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Eric Staal. Tonight's slate, we actually have a final already. Lightning over the Sabres 3-2. That was in the Global Series. Tampa 7-5-2. Buffalo's 9-5-2. Number 1 started the game with a goal, Nikita Kucherov. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals, Sam Reinhart. Number 3 started the game with an assist, Victor Hedman. 7:30 Bruins Red Wings. 8 o'clock Canucks Jets. 9 o'clock Devils Oilers. So Taylor Hall back in Edmonton. You can guarantee yourself he's going to have a great game tonight against his former team. Rest of the weekend, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the Panthers at the Islanders. Sabres Lightning Global Series again. 7 o'clock, Flyers Maple Leafs. Kings Canadiens. Hurricanes Senators. Blackhawks Penguins. Golden Knights Capitals, so the Cup rematch from 2 years ago. 8 o'clock, Wild Coyotes. Blue Jackets Avalanche at 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock, Blues Flames. 10:30, Predators Sharks. And to Sunday, 1 o'clock from MSG, Panthers Rangers. 2 o'clock, Stars Jets. 4 o'clock, Devils Canucks. 5 o'clock, Golden Knights Red Wings. 7 o'clock, Flyers Bruins. Maple Leafs Blackhawks. And 9 o'clock, the Oilers at the Ducks. College basketball last night. That was a short slate because not many teams played. But tonight's loaded. We'll get to it right now. So last night you had Omaha defeat Midland 72-53. Moorhead over Spalding 92-44. Marshall over Robert Morris 67-60. Purdue Fort Wayne over Manchester 91-80. Rutgers over Bryant 73-71. That was close. North Florida over Florida National 89-81. Clemson over Presbyterian 79-45. Winthrop over Hartford 67-57. Appalachian State over Ferrum 83-56. Sanford over Kentucky Wesleyan 68-42. Central Arkansas over Hendricks 71-51. North Dakota over Crown College 86-61. North Dakota State over Mayville State 93-53. South Dakota State over Peru State 86-58. Drake over Kennesaw State 86-55. UAB over Troy 76-75. TCU over Southwestern University 83-62. Washington State over Seattle 85-54. I thought that was a potential bye loss for them, but they avoid it in big fashion. Idaho State over Air Force 89-79. And UC Davis over William Jessup 109-63. Today we have two finals already. Eastern Michigan over Siena Heights 93-51. And Mercer over Columbia International 84-76. Tonight you have Oakland against Delaware from Kissimmee. 6 o'clock CBS Sports Network. You have number 24 Auburn against Davidson from the Veterans Classic. This should be an interesting game. Two teams that are very good. A lot of people think that Davidson is going to be an at-large team from the A-10 this year, as do I. I just think Auburn's the better team. I feel like Davidson's too public of an underdog here. I think Davidson can absolutely win this game. I think this number's low. So I think you're getting like a few points of value here taking Auburn. So give me Auburn minus 2.5. I don't think that's my lock of the night. I have to go through the rest of the slate. 6 o'clock, Merchant Marine against Army. Truett McConnell against South Carolina Upstate. 7 o'clock, Eastern Kentucky and number 2 Kentucky. No issue for Kentucky there, in my opinion. Colorado State and number 4 Duke. Duke should have no problem there. Number 9 North Carolina at UNC Wilmington. That should be an interesting game. Wilmington was good the last couple years. I just want to see how a team like Carolina responds on the road with that young team led by Cole Anthony, who is probably the National Player of the Year 3 days into the season favorite right now. He's been spectacular to start the season, but I think they should have no issues there, although I could see a world where Wilmington covers. UIC at number 14 Memphis. UIC is not a good team, so Memphis should have no issue there. Santa number 19 Xavier. Xavier should have no problems. North Texas and number 25 VCU. VCU should have no issue there. Penn State Wilkes-Barre against Norfolk State. Bob Jones at South Carolina State. UMass Lowell against LIU. Sacred Heart against UConn. Longwood George Mason. Dartmouth Buffalo. Oberlin Yale. Charleston Southern NCAT. Rider Delaware State. Akron West Virginia. St. Francis Pennsylvania Richmond. Vermont St. Bonaventure. Radford Liberty. Johnson Florida Jacksonville. FAU Miami. Coppin State Virginia Tech. Bryn Athyn Towson. Niagara Drexel. That game is a campus game, although it's in prep for the Garden State Hardwood Classic. Loyola Chicago Furman, Milligan Elan, Marist VMI, William & Mary American, Arkansas State Ole Miss, UTSA Southern Illinois from Kissimmee, Central Penn Campbell, that's 7:30, Hampton, Coastal Carolina, 8 o'clock Bowling Green at number 22 LSU, Reinhardt Georgia Southern, Ecclesia Grambling, Hartford, Northeastern, Eastern Illinois, Wisconsin, now in the 8 o'clock slate. Fairleigh Dickinson, DePaul, Arlington Baptist, Lamar, Sam Houston State, Mississippi State, Merrimack, Northern Kentucky, Missouri, 8:30 CBS SN, East Carolina, Navy. That's also a Veterans Classic game. Houston Baptist, Oral Roberts, Ave Maria, FIU, 9 o'clock, ESPN, UNC Greensboro at number 3, Kansas. I think Kansas probably wins this game by double digits. I would take the over there. Weber State at number 17, Utah State, SO Edwardsville, and Iowa. Illinois, Grand Canyon, Mississippi Valley State, Utah, South Dakota Pacific. That's going to be a 9:30 game from Hawaii. 9:30 ESPN, Washington, number 16, Baylor from Alaska. Should be a fun game. I wonder if it's Shulman and Billis doing the honors on the mic tonight. It should be. These are two good teams. I think Washington should have been ranked before the season, but they're not. They have a lot of talented freshmen on that team. And Mike Hopkins is a very solid coach. In terms of a pick, I kind of think that the Huskies can win this game outright. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger, but I'm going to take Washington getting 5 here as the play. I'm going to say they win it outright. Why the hell not? 10 o'clock Incarnate Word, Northern Colorado, Cal Lutheran, Cal Baptist, Cal Poly Santa Clara, Simpson, Sacramento State, 10:30 ESPN2, Arizona State, Colorado, a rare conference game. This game is being played from China, so they're doing a couple conference games, and they're doing it for television reasons. Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander, who do a great job on the Eye on College Basketball podcast, we're discussing how there's so many conference games to start the season, and it's because for television ratings to boost the sport, and I don't love it at all. I agree with Parrish. So shout out to those boys, as they do a great job 3 times a week during the college basketball season for Eye on College Basketball podcast. But in terms of a pick for this game, I'm saying this is the lock of the night. Arizona State getting 5, neutral site. They're going to win the game outright. I'm surprised they're not a favorite here. They're a better team than Colorado. Colorado's going to be good this year, but Arizona State, Bobby Hurley, they have the better coach. I think they win the game outright. If the game was at Colorado, I'd probably would pick Colorado to at least at least win the game. I don't know about cover the spread. But I'm not sold on Colorado this year. So this line is suggesting to me that Colorado be giving 8 at home against Arizona State. That to me is lunacy, and it's also suggesting that Arizona State would be a 2-point home underdog at home, which is lunacy. Lock of the night, Arizona State getting 5 against Colorado. They're winning the game outright. Portland at USC at 11 o'clock, and then at midnight, Rainbow Classic game number 2, Florida A&M at Hawaii. Now we're going to go over the college football games from last night, and then I'm going to reveal my picks for college football for the weekend. So last night in college football, you had Sun Belt and you had AAC, my bad. Louisiana Lafayette over Coastal Carolina 48-7. Louisiana 7-2. Coastal Carolina 4-5. Temple over USF 17-7. Great win for Temple on the road. They're 6-3. USF's 4-5. They're pretty much done. The rest of their schedule is a lot of non-so-winnable games. This was their opportunity to get to that 5th win, so they'd be a win away and they'd have a little more motivation to steal a bowl spot in the bowl season. So Temple's now bowl eligible, which is big for them. I wasn't sure if they were going to be bowl eligible this year. I think I had them making a bowl before the season, if I'm not mistaken. But that is really nice for them this season. And now we're going to do the picks for week number 11 in the college football season. We're going to start with tonight. You have UCF at Tulsa. UCF's giving 17, the over under 69. I'm taking the over in this game. Both these teams are going to score and score and score. There is an angle for UCF, and that is that Temple's not really playing for anything. But maybe to save their coach's job, potentially. But anyway, I like the over. I can see UCF scoring in the high 40s and Tulane scoring around 23. So, which should add up to a total above 69 points. Washington at Oregon State. Oregon State's giving 10. The over-under is 66. Give me Oregon State plus the 10. I think they win the game outright. They're plus 285 on the money line. Washington really has nothing to play for. They're a win away from becoming eligible, but you think Oregon State's going to be more motivated. They are a couple wins away from a bowl, and I think they'll get there. They've really done an outstanding job, and Jonathan Smith should be the coach of the year in the Pac-12. So give me Oregon State getting 10. They'll win the game outright, plus 285 on the money line. To Saturday, Penn State at Minnesota, 12 o'clock, ABC. Penn State's giving 6.5. The over-under is 48. Give me Penn State minus the points. I've doubted this team a lot at points this year, including at Maryland in a night game. Bit me in the ass. I took them to beat and cover against Michigan, but Michigan backdoored them. But that was just a more convincing result than that final score indicated, in my opinion, although Michigan had some fluky plays to make themselves cover in that game. But anyway, Penn State's better than Minnesota, and I think that they are going to go out and win by double digits. So give me Penn State minus 6.5 to end any hopes and dreams of PJ Fleck's team making the college football playoff. Maryland at Ohio State. Ohio State's giving a whopping 43.5. The over under 65. Give me the over in this one. Both of these teams are going to score and score and score, and I think that Ohio State could potentially almost do it by themselves. Vanderbilt at Florida. Florida's giving 26.5. The over-under is 49. Give me the under. I don't like either of these teams offensively, especially Vandy. Florida's got a good D. I think Florida can win this game like 27-10. Baylor at TCU. Baylor's giving 2.5. The over-under is 48. Give me TCU plus the points. I think Baylor's looking ahead to the Oklahoma game, so TCU wins outright as a 2.5-point home underdog, plus 110 on the money line. Purdue at Northwestern. Northwestern's laying 2. The over-under is 39.5. Give me Purdue plus the 2 points, plus 104 on the money line. Purdue is not terrible, but Northwestern is, and I can't lay it with a bad offensive team like Northwestern. So give me Purdue getting the 2, plus 104 on the money line. Western Kentucky at Arkansas. Arkansas minus 1, over under 53. Give me Western Kentucky getting the 1. They're minus 106 on the money line. I do think Western wins outright. Florida State at Boston College. Boston College is giving 2.5. The over under is 63.5. Give me FSU plus the 2.5. I think they win the game outright. Plus 108 on the money line. New coach in town. No more Willie Taggart. So they're going to be playing loose. I feel like the world loves Boston College, but they're missing their starting quarterback. A.J. Dillon will have a big game, but I'm going to say Florida State comes out there and silences some doubters here. So give me Florida State getting the 2.5. Texas Tech and West Virginia. Texas Tech's laying 2.5. The over-under is 59.5. Give me West Virginia getting 2.5. And I think they win their game outright. Plus 118 on the money line. They showed some signs of life in that game against Baylor. Granted, they weren't great offensively. They just have to stop it with the turnovers. Texas Tech's quarterback's hurt. West Virginia's defense is playing a little better. I think that they're going to have a little bit of Mountaineer home magic here. And I think that they'll come out and win this game outright and give themselves, I believe, back within a game of 500, which would make them, 4-5 on the year with a puncher's chance to somehow sneak into a bowl game in Neil Brown's first year. So give me West Virginia getting 2.5. And they're plus 118 on the money line. East Carolina, SMU. SMU's laying 21. The over under 72. Over. Both these teams are going to score and score and score. There's the case for SMU because of the bounce back spot, but give me the over. Because East Carolina's offense has really been showing something. Maybe I'm overreacting that Cincinnati game a lot, but maybe this is a letdown and you take SMU, but we'll see. UMass against Army. Army's giving 34.5. The over under 61.5. This wants to make me throw up, but give me UMass plus 34.5 Army shouldn't be favored by more than 30 against anybody. They've just been terrible this season. So give me UMass plus 34.5. Army wins by 20. Next up, at 12:30, Georgia Tech at Virginia. Virginia's giving 16.5. The over-under is 46.5. Give me the over. Georgia Tech is a team that's been playing a little better of late. I think that Virginia's an offensive team that's getting it together a little bit. I think Virginia wins, obviously, but I just think this total goes over. And I think that it could be like a 35-20 type of ball game. UTSA, Old Dominion. Old Dominion's giving 3.5. The over-under is 43. Give me UTSA getting the 3.5. I think they win outright. They're plus 140 on the money line. Next, at 3 o'clock, Stanford, Colorado. Stanford's giving 3.5. The over-under is 56. Give me Stanford minus 3.5. Colorado has just been awful lately, so give me Stanford minus 3.5. It's an anti-Colorado play more than the pro-Stanford play, although the hook scares me. South Alabama, Texas State. Texas State's giving 7.5. The over-under is 41.5. Give me the over. I think both these teams are going to score a lot. And more than you think. I think this could be a 23-20 type of game. Although South Alabama with the points is enticing. Charlotte, UTEP. UTEP is getting 13.5. The over-under is 58. This is tough. Give me Charlotte minus 13.5. They've been playing some decent football. This one scares me because of the hook, but why not? 3:30. The game of the year. LSU at Alabama. Bama is giving 6.5. The over-under is 42. Actually, the over-under is in the process of being changed. Because this is the game of the year, I'm going to give you 2 picks for this game. I'm going to take the under, first of all. It's sitting at 62.5, so you have the hook now. I like it better with the hook. So give me the under 62.5. And that's my best play of this game. But for a side, because why the hell not? Give me Alabama minus 6.5. I think Tua plays. Nick Saban's just messing around. And I think Tua will play. Roll Tide roll. Bama's going to win by double digits. And I'm going to say it's 34-23. So that would mean Bama covers and the under hits. Kansas State, Texas. Texas is giving 7. The over-under 57.5. This line is getting very high to the point where I don't want to touch Texas. So give me the over 57.5. I think both these teams are going to score a lot. I think Texas will win, though. Illinois, Michigan State. Michigan State's giving 4.5. The over-under is 46.5. Give me Illinois plus the points. Michigan State's been really bad lately. I think Michigan State wins, but doesn't cover. USC, Arizona State. USC's a 2-point favorite. The over-under is 56. Give me Arizona plus the 2. They're plus 102 on the money line. I can't believe they're a dog here. Unbelievable. Give me State to win outright as a 2-point underdog. Louisville and Miami. Miami's giving 7. The over-under is 49.5. Give me Louisville plus the 7. I think they win the game outright. They're plus 215 on the money line. It's just a gut feeling I have here, and Miami's a team that has been very Jekyll and Hyde, and I think that they'll be kind of down this week after the big win over their rival. UConn and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's minus 35. The over-under is 54.5. Give me the under. I think Cincinnati's defense bounces back from the debacle against East Carolina. And I think they probably win this game like 40-7 because UConn's terrible. Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. Wake's giving to the over-under 61.5. Give me Virginia Tech plus the 2. They're plus 102 on the money line. I think they win the game outright. Georgia Southern at Troy. Troy's plus 3. The money line is plus 125. The over-under is 56. I just gave away the pick there. Troy's winning this thing outright. Give me them plus 3, plus 125 on the money line. 3:30 as well. UAB, Southern Miss. Southern Miss is giving 7 over-under 50. This line is going too high, so give me the over 50. I think this is a close, competitive game. But Southern Miss will win. 4 o'clock, you have Iowa, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's giving 9.5. The over-under is 38. Give me Wisconsin minus the points. I think they win this by double digits. And remind everybody that they're still a darn good football team. New Mexico State, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is giving 29.5. The over under 65. Give me the over. Both these teams are going to score and score and score. North Texas, Louisiana Tech. Tech's giving 6. Over under 72.5. Another over I like. I think that both these offenses are going to score and score and score. I think that Louisiana Tech will win the game. At 5 o'clock, you have Georgia State and UL Monroe. UL Monroe is getting 3 over under 76. Give me UL Monroe plus a 3. They're winning outright. They're plus 120 on the money line. 6 o'clock, FIU, FAU. FAU's minus 10. The over under 60. Give me FAU minus the 10. Missouri, Georgia. Georgia's minus 16.5. The over under is 48. I love the over in this game. I think that both of these teams are going to score. Missouri's defense is Swiss cheese. This has 37-20 written all over it. App State, South Carolina. South Carolina's giving 6. The over under is 51. Another underdog I love is App State. They're getting a full 6. I'll take it. I think they win the game outright. I don't think South Carolina's that good. And App State's a very good team from the Sun Belt, plus 180 on the money line. Utah State, Fresno State. Fresno State's giving 5.5. The over-under is 58.5. This was a tough one for me to gauge here. Give me Utah State plus the points. I think Fresno will win, but Utah State will keep it close and competitive. Washington State and Cal. Washington State's laying 8. The over-under is 52.5. Give me Wazoo minus the 8. Cal has lost a ton of games in a row. Yes, there's their due argument, but Wazoo's just better than them offensively. 7:30 Notre Dame Duke. Duke's getting 8. The over-under is 51. This is tough. Give me Duke plus the 8. I think Notre Dame wins, but it's close. I wanted to say Duke would win outright, but I think that'd be a little ballsy saying that. I also like the over at 51, but I think Duke's going to cover, but not win. Kentucky's giving 2 against Tennessee. The over-under is 42. Give me Kentucky minus the 2. Tennessee was actually favored in this game earlier in the week, but it flipped. But I liked Kentucky anyway. I don't feel good about it because Kentucky's quarterback is hurt. Clemson at NC State. Clemson's giving 33.5. Over-under 54. Give me the over 54 here. I think these two teams are going to score. I'm going to say Clemson wins this game like 45-20. Liberty, BYU. BYU's giving 17.5. The over-under is 58.5. Give me the over. I think both these teams are going to air it out a little bit and get loose. A couple lines changing in the process, so let me refresh that. A big one at 8 o'clock in the Big 12 between Iowa State and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's giving 14.5. The over-under 68.5. Give me the over here. I think both these teams are going to score a lot of points. Both these two defenses have been leaky of late. I think Oklahoma will win, but I like the over. Boise and Wyoming. Boise's giving a whopping 15. The over-under is 48.5. Tough one here. Give me Boise minus the points. I don't feel good about it, though. That's a 10-15 game. 10:30, Nevada, San Diego State. San Diego State's giving 17.5. The over-under is 39. A popular trend this year is San Diego State unders. I'm going to take it again here. I don't feel good about it because Nevada can sometimes get a little loose, and their defense, meanwhile, sucks. But you never know. But San Diego State's a team that's like a run control team. They could milk some clocks. So I can see where San Diego State wins like 27-10 and it barely goes under. 11 o'clock, last but not least, San Jose State at Hawaii. Hawaii's giving 7.5. The over-under is 76.5. Give me the Hawaii minus the points. I don't feel good about it. San Jose State's been in a lot of games this year. They've been a great story. But this just feels like a spot for Hawaii to win at home by double digits. I think it'll be close throughout, but it'll be a backdoor that gets Hawaii the win. So give me Hawaii minus the 7.5. And in terms of my best 5, I didn't say them, but I'll say them right now. My best 5 plays are as follows. Penn State minus 6.5 against Minnesota. Alabama LSU under 62.5. Louisville plus 7 against Miami. The over in the Missouri-Georgia game and the over in the Iowa State-Oklahoma game. So, again, Minnesota, Penn State. Penn State's giving 6.5. Give me that. Bama, LSU under 62.5. Louisville plus 7. Missouri, Georgia over 48, and Oklahoma, Iowa State, over 68.5. And now on to my NFL picks for the weekend. Some interesting games that I like and some totals I like. 1 o'clock, Bills-Browns. Browns are giving 3 over under 40. Bills coming off a bounce-back win over the Redskins. Browns coming off the horrible loss at Denver against their third-string quarterback and the Broncos. This line is so weird that the Browns are giving 3. People are thinking, why the fuck are the Browns giving 3 at home against the 5-2 Buffalo Bills? Listen, I thought that the Bills would be favored in this game too, but they're not. The Browns are. This line is telling you something. It's saying take the fucking home team, and I am, and I'm going to murder Freddie Kitchens if the Browns don't come through for me. And by the way, Freddie Kitchens is the reason why this is not among my best 5 of the NFL this week. So I'm going to hold my nose and take the Browns minus the 3. I think they win 23-17. Ravens at the Bengals. Ravens giving 10.5, the over-under 44. Ravens come off the mega win over the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Bengals coming off their bye 2 weeks ago, lost against the Rams in London. Andy Dalton benched for Ryan Finley. I think that he's going to play somewhat well. He won't have Adrian Green. It looks like he had a setback. But there's people out there that think that they're doing that to tank. But I disagree. Maybe he is really hurt. But despite the injuries on offense for Cincinnati, I'm taking them getting the 10.5. I love the hook there. I just think that the Ravens are going to have somewhat of a letdown. I won't be shocked if Cincinnati has the lead at halftime. So a fun bet would be Cincinnati money line first half. I'd love that bet. I'm going to say the Ravens win this game 23-20 on a late field goal by Justin Tucker. So therefore, Bengals plus 10.5. Falcons-Saints. Falcons getting 14 over under 51. Falcons coming off their bye 2 weeks ago, lost at home against the Seahawks. Saints also coming off a bye 2 weeks ago, won at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Give me the over 51. This is going to be a shootout like none other. Classic NFC South shootout. The Saints might win by double digits, but I still think it's a shootout. I'm going to say 37-24 New Orleans. Chiefs, Titans. Chiefs giving 5.5, the over under 49.5. Chiefs coming off a home win over the Vikings. Titans coming off that loss against, who they play? And it's blanking on me. Tennessee's coming off a loss. I know that. But anyway, I like the over in this game. I think that Derrick Henry is going to expose the Chiefs' rush defense a little bit, so he'd be a smart DFS play for the weekend. So I'm going to take the over here, although I expect Kansas City to win the game. I think KC wins 27-26, good old-fashioned shootout. So I think it's worth taking the Titans, getting the 5.5 at home as well. But who was it that the Titans just lost to? It's blanking the living hell out of me. Who did Tennessee play? I have to check my list. Tennessee played the Panthers. They had the loss to the Panthers. That's what it was, and I bet against them. Lions, Bears. Bears giving 2.5, the over under 41.5. Lions coming off a loss to the Raiders. Bears coming off a loss to Philly. I love the Lions getting 2.5. Wrong team's favorite. I thought the Lions would be favored in this game solely because I think that the public and professional lines makers have accepted the idea that Mitch Trubisky's not a good NFL quarterback, so therefore the Lions should be favored. And I think that they should be favored by 1.5, and the line I think is a couple points off. I'm taking the plus 125 on the money line with the Lions as well, so plus 2.5. Lions are going to win outright, and I have the Lions winning this game by a score of 26-16, and this is one of my best bets of the entire weekend. Cardinals, Buccaneers. Buccaneers giving 4.5. The over under 52.5. Give me Arizona plus the 4.5. They're coming off a competitive loss Thursday Night Football against the 49ers. Bucs coming off that overtime heartbreaker against Seattle. But Bucs have just lost so many heartbreakers this year. The overtime game, the Giant game, and a lot more. This could be another one. Give me Arizona plus 185 on the money line. They're winning outright. The over in this game is fun too at 52.5. Give me 30-27 Cardinals. And I skipped a game on the list. Giants at the Jets. Giants are giving 3. The over under 44.5. Give me the Giants minus the 3. Or actually, no, my bad. I think the Giants will win and cover, but barely. But the play I like in this game is over 44.5. This opened, I believe, at like 41 or something, but it really has shot up. I'm going to say that this goes well over the total. Competitive game. Won't surprise me who wins this game at all. I would have absolutely taken the Jets to win this game outright had the Giants had beaten Dallas and made a case for letdown spot Giants. But you never know. I do think the Jets can win this game, but I think the better bet is 44.5. So give me Giants 30-26. So the best play in this game over 44.5. 4 o'clock, Miami at Indy. And by the way, the over 44.5 for the Giant Jet game is among my best plays of the weekend, as is the Cardinals getting 4.5 against the Bucs. To the 4 o'clock games, Colts hosting the Dolphins. Colts giving 11.5. The over under 44. Looks like Brissett's going to play because the line went up a little bit. I like the under here, and this is partially because of Brissett as well. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. Miami has been somewhat competitive in these games, but I don't love it in terms of them covering. It's going to be under 44. I think Indy wins this game 27-16. I think that's the better play, and that would, in fact, have the Dolphins covering, by the way. But I just feel better about the under. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews on the call for Panthers at the Packers from Lambeau at 4:25 on Fox. Panthers are getting 5. The over-under is 47. I love the Packers giving the 5. Classic bounce-back spot for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers after looking listless last week against the Chargers. This is also one of my best plays of the week. Give me Green Bay 34-20. Rams at the Steelers. Rams giving 4 over under 43. Tough one. Give me the Rams minus the 4. No James Conner for Pittsburgh. Everyone loves the Steelers, but they don't have James Conner again, and they would have lost last week had not been for Adam Vinatieri looking washed up and for Jacoby Brissett not getting hurt. So I think the Steelers were lucky to win last week, and I really like the Rams here. The weather's not going to be pretty. So there's an under case. I would have loved the over had not been for weather. But give me the Rams minus 4, and I think they win this game by a score of 26-16. Vikings-Cowboys. Cowboys giving 3 over under 48. It was just announced Adam Thielen won't be playing. The Vikings are coming off that loss against the Chiefs at the field goal by Harrison Butker. Cowboys coming off the big Monday night win against the Giants. I love Dallas minus the 3, especially now without Adam Thielen there. And by the way, Kirk Cousins on the road in prime time against a good team is an automatic bet against for the Vikings. So that last statement I just made about Cousins is more important when it comes to betting. Although it makes me feel good with laying 3 with the Cowboys too, with that their best receiver in Adam Thielen. Minnesota's will not be playing. And Dallas' best receiver, Amari Cooper, will be playing. So give me Cowboys minus 3. It's among one of my best plays of the weekend. So the best 5 of the weekend again: Cowboys minus 3, Packers minus 5, Cardinals plus 4.5, Giants Jets over 44.5, and Lions getting 2.5 against the Bears. Monday Night Football, Seahawks at the 49ers. 49ers laying 6.5. The over-under is 47. I love the over in this game. Seattle obviously coming off the overtime win over the Bucs. 49ers coming off the Thursday night win over the Cardinals. I think that the 49ers defense showed some leaks last week against the Cards, and I think that Russell Wilson can exploit that and keep the Seahawks in the game. So that's why the plus 6.5 is enticing as well. But Seahawks defense is obviously vulnerable. I think that Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman are going to run down their throats. Emmanuel Sanders will have a big day. Obviously, George Kittle will have a big day. Give me the over 47.5, and I think the 49ers will win this game 34-26. And by the way, I score for the Dallas game against the Vikings, 30-20 in favor of Dallas. Alrighty then. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I made it already. 35-cent bet. A couple team moneyline parlay in the mixture of sports. West Virginia, Buffalo, Miami, VCU, LSU, Missouri, Kansas, Utah State, and Santa Clara for college basketball. College football, UCF. In hockey, you have the Bruins. And then in the NBA, the Mavericks and the Lakers. Plus 393, payout of $1.72. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back next week recapping all the weekend's events from college football, NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, and any other news that breaks in the world of sports. I'm going to have a couple guests on next week. Alex Keeler is going to come on Tuesday to talk some college football, NFL, and some baseball off-season predictions. Jeff Maglicetti on Wednesday to talk about NBA, NHL, maybe a little bit of baseball off-season, NFL, and etc. Maybe Derek or Doug if one of my other two cancel. So a lot to look forward to for next week. I hope you guys have a great weekend, everybody.